I'm starting to think that these young men, these young athletes are hopeless when it comes to recognizing the game and the predatory nature that these IG models and attractive women are playing on them when it comes to trying to pull their success and money and status away from them. It seems like the young men today just refuse to learn game and be put on game. The only time they seem to learn is whenever they've been put through the ringer. But by then, it's too late. A smart person learns from his mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. So today's video, got to break down a recent IG post that went viral. And then we got to break down a little podcast that Gilbert Arenas and Kenyon Martin had that is kind of giving men game. And then I'm going to give you guys my opinion on it, if men will actually change. So before we get too far into the video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the video. If you guys want to support the channel, all the ways you can support are in the description below. I appreciate you guys watching my videos on a consistent basis. So there's a recent post on Instagram that I ran across where it literally exposed an IG model's messages. Now, in these messages, she's going back and forth apparently with a friend. And first of all, she's talking about Deshaun Jackson and John Morant. Now, she's talking about Deshaun Jackson first. And let me get a swig of water before I get too deep into this, because I got a dry throat at the moment. So she's talking about Deshaun Jackson initially, and how she's going to finesse him, and how she's going to convince him to sleep with her and have raw sex and have the baby. And she said some other things in this messages. I will link the article below so you guys can check it. Right? Because she said some other stuff about, Deshaun's genitalia that I'm not going to say on this. But she insults the guy, saying that she's not in it for anything else but to get a child and to get money. And she said the next person on her radar is John Morant. Now, it was clear to see before, but if you don't see it now, you're lost. Women can be predators and hunt men. This is why some people on YouTube say that high-value men become high-value targets. It's very true. It's a different dynamic and a different way of looking at it. The higher you climb in the socio-economic status, the more money you make, the more status you have, the more notoriety you get, the more success you gain. Women see that and try to poach your resources away from you. They're going to find a strategic way to find a way to get your resources and to secure it for her own benefit, which in today's society is really sad, because if you think about it, women aren't having children for the purpose of, having a child and loving the child and raising the child up to be a productive individual. They're having children for a paycheck. They're having children to secure a lifestyle that they want. They're using children for financial benefit. Think about how manipulative and how low behavior and how bad how morally bad certain human beings can be on this planet Earth. Now, it is possible that she could want both worlds. She wants a son that's 6'6" that can play in the NBA and to get paid from an NBA player. It could go both ways in that way as well. But the next thing that I want to get into is Gilbert Arenas and Kenyon Martin have on this podcast, they are warning specifically, and they warned specifically back when they were playing to the younger players and the veteran players, to tell the youngins to say, hey, this woman is a gold digger. You need to stay away from her. This is a groupie. Excuse me. This woman is a groupie. Stay away from her. She's been dated a lot of guys around the league. She's trying to get a come up from the bag. Be careful. Strap it on. These men for ages, have been trying to stress and tell young men on the predatory nature of women. And so I'm listening to Gilbert Arenas and Kenyon Martin, and they're saying, hey, here's my child support payments that I have to pay on a consistent basis. Just trying to persuade the younger athletes to be careful. And so I'm sitting back watching the whole thing. And I'm like, it occurred to me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. This telling people what to do and how to do it and warnings barely work most times. They don't work. It's not hard to figure out that certain women have ulterior motives. And so oftentimes, and this goes for anything, this goes for you trying to sell somebody something, this goes for you trying to sell somebody in religion, this goes for, any other thing, you trying to get your soldiers to work for you, whatever it is. You're trying to convert people over to something. Oftentimes, and this goes to therapy,
I didn't get that.
and of course, freaking series is all over me. It doesn't work, and the reason why it doesn't work is because that person has to feel the pain themselves. You telling them about it, you having pictures of incidences that you've been through, you using your own personal anecdotes to tell the younger men, to warn them about what's going on, it often doesn't work. Why? Because the other individual has to go through the pain themselves and feel it themselves in order for their behavior to change. It's a sad state about the society that we live in. It's a sad state about human beings. It's a sad state about men, because they're going to continue to keep the cycle going. They can't, as a young man, 21, and you see an attractive woman, your lustful loins overrides your logic to the point to where you ignore good advice, where you ignore where you fall in love with a woman and you can't see the manipulation and the ulterior motives and the different things that she's doing to try to extract your resources from you. So your love, your perception of good-looking women, your perception of love clouds young men's judgment in order to see what's really going on. And it's not until you get older that they begin to see. It's not until they get experience that they begin to see. This is why the older men will say, well, if you don't listen to it from me, life will teach you. And when life teaches you, it's going to be 10 times harder or harsher than what I'm saying. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in, there's a higher portion of people that have to feel the flame in order to know it's hot, instead of seeing somebody else get burned. So that's my video. You guys like, comment, subscribe. share the video if you like the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace.